with time equally allotted between the parties and each member other than the majority and minority leaders, and the minority whip limited to 5 minutes. But in no event shall debate continue beyond 11:50 a.m. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Quigley, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, last week the House and Senate oversaw the certification of the 2024 election. It was a quick, smooth process. There were no riots, no violence. We completed the peaceful transfer of power as the Founding Fathers envisioned it. Now compare last week's election certification with what we witnessed 4 years ago. Thousands attacked the Capitol. They shattered windows, smashed down doors, assaulted police officers. The insurrectionists and rioters threatened Vice President Pence and referred to him as, quote, dead man walking, if he didn't illegally reject the election results. Directly following January 6th, leaders on both sides of the aisle spoke out against the anti-democratic acts of the day. Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy said, I've ever had serving as a member of this institution. Former Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell was even more clear in his condemnation and assignment of Blaine. He said, and I quote, there's no question, none, that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day. It was a violent insurrection for the purpose of trying to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. Now, 4 years later, there is a concerted effort to rewrite history. Our incoming president has called January 6th, quote, a day of love, and others have claimed it was a legitimate form of protest. Well, I was here. I saw the violence with my own eyes, and the scenes we witnessed will haunt this institution forever. We need a clear accounting of what happened and a clear accountability to ensure this elect has said he wants to pardon the rioters. These are folks who have been convicted in a court of law. And they should go to jail, he said, of members of Congress sought to uncover the truth about January 6th. So let's recap. The people who broke into the Capitol, injured 147 officers, threatened to kill the vice president should be pardoned. And the elected officials who performed their constituency should be jailed. This is a perversion of the truth and justice. For those of us who were here, a dark stain on our nation's history. Up to the rioters. They didn't just protect me, they protected our republic. In 2022, Congress commissioned a memorial to be installed on the front of the Capitol. 3 years later, it is yet to be mounted. We should expect more. If we can't be honest about what happened on that day, if we can't, at a minimum, come together to put up a plaque commemorating those who protected us and some who gave their last full measure of devotion, then perhaps we should install a plaque like the one from Dante's Inferno. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Thank you, and I yield back.
The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Missouri, Mr. Alford, for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I rise to honor our January Veteran of the Month, Michael Mike Tracy. Mike entered the Air Force Delayed Entry Program in 1975, where he reported to basic training, Air Force Leadership School, and Security Police School at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. After graduation, he was placed on orders to the 20th Security Police Squadron, RAF, Upper Heyford, England, home to the F-111E NATO and USAF nuclear deterrent to the former Soviet Union. When he returned to the U.S., he maintained his service after being discharged in the inactive reserve. In 1982, Mike rejoined the military as a private in the USAR in Spokane, Washington. He attended Drill Sergeant School and U.S. Armor School. He served as a preventative medicine specialist in Germany and participated in Operation Desert Storm. Throughout injuries, surgeries, and reassignments, Mike served his country in many different roles. His final assignment brought him to Missouri, Whiteman Air Force Base in our district. We appreciate you, and we are so glad that your journey brought you to the great state of Missouri. We salute you today. Thank you, Mike. Madam Speaker, today I rise to honor our January Small Business of the Month, Janine's Flowers. This fantastic business in Camdenton has been serving the lake area with floral artistry through weddings, proms, first dates, and so many other special occasions. Janine's is a one-stop destination for all floral arrangements, special gifts, tuxedos, event supplies, and much more. Back in September, Janine celebrated their 45th anniversary, where Janine Bullock, the original owner, shared captivating stories about the humble beginnings of this business. It's now owned by Cassidy Dickerson. Janine's Flowers will continue to make special occasions even more special. Janine was thrilled to pass the torch to Cassidy and knows that she will build upon the strong foundation that was established. Thank you. Thank you for providing Missouri's 4th Congressional District with the highest quality floral arrangements and event services. In Missouri, don't forget about Janine's. Valentine's Day is coming up. Congratulations to Janine's Flowers, our January Small Business of the Month. Madam Speaker, I yield back.
The chair recognizes a gentlewoman from Alabama, Miss Sewell, for 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, I rise today to honor the extraordinary life and legacy of Brenda Lovelady Spahn, the founder of the Lovelady Center in Birmingham, Alabama, who passed away on December 18, 2024 at the age of 75. Ms. Brenda founded the Lovelady Center in 2004 to rehabilitate women involved in the criminal justice system. Beginning with just 7 inmates, the program rapidly grew into what it is now, and it was the only state-supervised reentry program in Alabama and the largest faith-based recovery facility for women and children in the nation. Through the work of the Lovelady Center, Ms. Brenda has touched the lives of more than 20,000 women and children, helping them to walk forward with a faith-driven hope for the future. Guided by her abiding faith in God and her steadfast belief in the value of human life, Ms. Brenda made it her mission to spread empowerment, hope, and redemption among the women she served. Throughout her extraordinary life, she has received numerous awards and honors, including an honorary degree in humanitarian studies from Tennessee Temple University in 2012. On a personal note, I am forever grateful to the opportunity I had to partner with Ms. Brenda on behalf of the women and children of Jefferson County, Alabama, including the $2 million investment that we secured for the Lovelady Center in the fiscal year 2023 from the federal budget. I will always remember the warm, selfless, and kind-hearted nature of Ms. Brenda. I ask my colleagues to join me in celebrating the extraordinary life and legacy of Ms. Brenda Lovelady Spahn. May her legacy live on in the many lives that she touched. Madam Speaker, I rise today to honor the extraordinary career and achievements of Dr. Charles Still, Jr. as he celebrates his retirement after 17 years as the president and CEO of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. A true trailblazer, Dr. Still has an accomplished career in both public service and civil rights advocacy. A native of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, he was elected to the Tuscaloosa City Council in 1985, a position he held for 2 years before being elected to the Alabama State Senate in 1994. After serving 3 terms, Dr. Still stepped down in 2004 to take over as the head of the SCLC. As the organization's president and CEO, Dr. Still raised over $10 million and oversaw the groundbreaking of SCLC's new international headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Still's reputation has always been one of great purpose and great passion. He is an honorable man guided by an abiding faith in God and a love of country. While his retirement will allow him some well-earned rest and time with loved ones, I know that his commitment to service will continue for years to come. On behalf of a grateful nation, I ask my colleagues to join me in celebrating the retirement of Dr. Charles Still, Jr. after 17 years as president and CEO of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The chair now recognizes the gentlewoman from Texas, Ms. De La Cruz, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to address the House for 1 minute.
Gentlewoman is recognized.
I rise today to honor Guadalupe County Commissioner Greg Seidenberger on his well-deserved retirement after a lifetime of extraordinary service to our country and community. Greg began his career with 20 years in the United States Air Force, serving as a command pilot during the Vietnam War and leading the squadron operating out of Seguin Auxiliary Airfield. He then served as a pilot for American Airlines for 18 years. For the past 12 years, Greg has dedicated himself to Guadalupe County as commissioner for Precinct 1, transforming the county and ensuring the foundation for a brighter future. I wish Commissioner Seidenberger a joyful retirement. Thank you. I yield back.
Chair now recognizes a gentlewoman from California, Ms. Rivas, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, just 5 days into my tenure as a member of the House of Representatives, several large wildfires broke out across Los Angeles County. The Palisades Fire, the Eaton Fire, and the Hearst Fire, which broke out in Sylmar on the northern end of my district. I was born and raised in the San Fernando Valley, and I consider myself incredibly fortunate to represent it in Congress. The Valley is a special place to so many people, including my own family, which makes the heartbreak of seeing images of it in danger sting deeper. I flew home last week as soon as I saw the images of footage coming out of Los Angeles County to be home with my community and helpful in any way that I could. I have immense gratitude for the Los Angeles Fire Department, the first responders, and the firefighters who arrived from across the country and from Mexico who have been working nonstop to put out these fires. I met with community leaders, including the brave men and women of Fire Station 87 in Granada Hills. Because of their bravery, courage, and action in responding to the Hearst fire, they were able to minimize danger and keep our neighbors safe. Our community thanks them. I also visited one of the evacuation centers at the Ritchie Valens Recreation Center to learn more about how staff and volunteers have been working around the clock to help those who were forced to evacuate. I visited the burn sites of the Hearst and Eaton fires, where I was able to assess the damage firsthand and tried to get a better understanding of what federal resources would be needed to help communities rebuild. Throughout the week, I was in contact with the federal government, including the White House and FEMA, where I was able to advocate for the federal support necessary to keep constituents safe during the emergency. My congressional colleagues and I are focused on making sure our constituents and our communities have what they need to get through and recover from this emergency without any conditions. This isn't about party or politics, and I'm proud to have joined both of our senators and 46 other bipartisan members of California's congressional delegation in urging President Biden to sign a major disaster declaration so that the federal government can provide public assistance, individual assistance, and direct federal assistance to our communities. We are grateful that President Biden quickly signed the declaration, and my hope is that President-elect Trump will continue to provide resources so our constituents can immediately access the funds and resources that they need to rebuild their lives. These fires are the costliest in California's history, and it impacted everyone regardless of income or party. Lives and livelihoods have been lost, and many more continue to be in danger. We want our constituents to know that disaster assistance is available and will be available to them. This assistance may include rental payments for temporary housing for those who lost their homes, grants for home repairs, unemployment payments for workers who have lost their job because of the fires, and crisis counseling for those who have been traumatized by this disaster. Additionally, FEMA disaster assistance may be able to help those who have lost a home, regardless if they were uninsured, had insurance, or underinsured. Visit disasterassistance.gov to get started. My office is also ready to help those who have been impacted by the fires. If my constituents need assistance, I encourage them to reach out to my office and we'll be able to start advocating on your behalf to get the federal resources that you need. The San Fernando Valley is home, and I'm honored to represent my home in Congress. That is why I'm committed to working with our local, state, and federal officials to make sure our community has the resources that it needs to rebuild stronger. Our community is strong and resilient, and we will help each other come back from this disaster. Thank you, and I yield back.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Bean, for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise today to honor the important contributions of A. Michael Hickox and his retirement as the property appraiser for Nassau County, Florida. For 12 years, Mike has been an amazing public servant, committed to fairness and customer service. Let's be honest, Madam Speaker, being a property appraiser is probably one of the toughest jobs around, but Mike has done it well, skillfully, and leaves the office in a much better place. While he was leading, Mike also served as the president of the Florida Association of Property Appraisers, and then served on the boards of the Nassau Education Foundation and the Nassau County Economic Development Board. To put it simply, Madam Speaker, Mike has spent his career serving others. Mike may not be our property appraiser anymore, but I know he's not done. I can't wait to see what he does next. Madam Speaker, I ask you and our colleagues to join me in congratulating Mike on a job well done. Go get him, Mike. I yield back.
The chair recognizes the gentlewoman from Michigan, Ms. Tlaib, for 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, I want to take time to honor the incredible life and legacy of Romulus Councilwoman Virginia Williams, who unexpectedly passed away. She has left a void in our community and in our hearts. Councilwoman Williams was a relentless advocate for our families, ensuring that no one in our community lacked basic necessities. Her work with organizations like Forgotten Harvest and her creating her own organization because of her passion for organizing food drives, holiday giveaways, and joyful community events embodied who she was, this unwavering love for the city of Romulus and our families. She was committed to always lifting up her neighbors, often going above and beyond to bring hope and resources to those in need. Her dedication reminds us all that even the smallest acts of kindness can build stronger, more connected communities. Her legacy lives on in countless lives she's touched, and we are forever grateful for her service. Thank you to her family for sharing her with all of us and allowing us to honor her. My deepest condolences go out to them and all her loved ones during this difficult time. Rest in peace, Councilwoman Williams. I would like to honor the life of former Dearborn Mayor Jack O'Reilly, Jr. Our community lost an extraordinary leader whose dedication to public service shaped the city of Dearborn and our communities in Michigan forever. Mayor O'Reilly served as the president of Dearborn City Council for nearly 2 decades and served 15-year tenure as Dearborn's 6th mayor. I still remember my first meeting with him when he was a council president during the time that I was a young law student. Mayor O'Reilly was so patient in teaching me about how some community programs were successful while others struggled. He was a champion for workforce development. His patience and his depth of knowledge and willingness to teach me and so many others left a lasting impression, I know, on me. I would have never thought that I would have the honor to be able to represent him here in the United States Congress. Mayor O'Reilly's kindness and thoughtful approach to leadership embodied what it truly means to be a public servant. Thank you. Thank you to Mayor O'Reilly Jr.'s family for sharing him with all of us. I know it wasn't easy. My thoughts are with all of you, all the loved ones, and all who were fortunate enough to know him. His legacy would continue to inspire future generations, not only in Dearborn, but throughout southeastern Michigan and beyond. I want to recognize Wayne County Commissioner Abdul Al-Haddous for his more than 40 years of public service to the city of Wayne and Wayne County and congratulate him on his retirement. He was born in Lebanon, as lovingly we call him Al, came to the city of Wayne 5 decades ago and made a name for himself in the communities as running the community's Al's Friendly Market with the help of his wife, Mary, who I love dearly, for 35 years. As the first Arab American mayor in Wayne County, his leadership paved the way for future leaders and was an inspiration to so many of us. In 2014, he was elected to the Wayne County Commission. For 14 years, he served our residents with dedication and resilience, always focusing on bringing people together. Thank you, Commissioner, for your decades of public service. Your legacy will continue to inspire our community in years to come. Please join me in recognizing Commissioner Al-Haddous as we wish him well in his retirement. With that, I yield.
Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Indiana, Mr. Baird, for 5 minutes. Gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor Nick Bostic, a former pizza delivery man who saved 5 sisters from a burning house. Just after midnight, July the 11th on 2022, Bostic was driving nearby when he saw the house in flames. Bostic entered the home where he found an 18-year-old woman, a toddler, 2 13-year-olds outside the upstairs bedroom, and he led them out of the house before running back inside to rescue the 6-year-old girl. For his actions, Nick Bostic received the Carnegie Medal, given to the American and Canadian citizens who put themselves in extreme danger while saving and attempting to save the lives of others. It is North America's highest honor for civilian heroism. The entire Lafayette community is grateful for his courageous actions to save the lives of these young girls. Thank you, and I yield back. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor the Brownsburg High School football team for winning the IHSSA 6A state championship this year. The Brownsburg Bulldogs took on the Westfield High School in the state finals in the Lucas Oil Stadium and emerged victorious with a final score of 22-17. This is the Brownsburg's first state title in nearly 40 years, and I know this win has meant so much to the Brownsburg community and cheering on to the victory. I want to congratulate this outstanding coaches and faculty who gave their time and talent to this team. They couldn't have done it without you. Congratulations again to the Brownsburg Bulldogs. And I yield back.
Gentleman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, today I rise to honor Dr. Mark Russell, who recently retired from his position as a professor of agricultural sciences at horse shows for national breeders around the world, growing the university in his well-earned retirement. I yield back.
Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Nevada, Ms. Lee, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise to honor the life of retired Chief Warrant Officer Daniel Peterson, a champion for Southern Nevada's veteran community. Chief Peterson was a highly decorated Army veteran and unrelenting advocate for those around him. After flying helicopters in the Army for more than 20 years, he came home to serve as the commander of the Henderson